Hey guys, Sean here. So I was gonna do this on Saturday when I went to see Fantastic Four First Steps, but by the time I started recording the video, my family already came to pick me up. So I'm doing it now while my family's off at work and my nephew's at daycare and whatever. Basically, I have the house to myself. Um, so I'm here to record my review for the Fantastic Four First Steps. So before I go into the new movie, even though Julian McMahon is not in this one, he is part of the Fantastic Four legacy because he did play Doctor Doom in both the 2005 movie and its sequel, Rise of the Silver Surfer. So this video, in part, is going to be dedicated to him. So, and his birthday was like yesterday, so he would have been 57 years old. So it's sad that we lost him due to cancer. I think it was, as they wrote. I know him from Fantastic Four movies. He played Cole Turner, aka Balthazar, on the show Charmed, and those are really the only two things I know him from, to be honest, because I don't remember him in anything else. I mean, I know he was in the show Nip Tuck, but I never really watched that show. And I think he also appeared in an MCU show as well. I just don't remember which one. So yeah, it's sad we lost Julian McMahon when we did. My thoughts and prayers go out to his family, the other cast members that he had worked with on the Fantastic Four movies. Rest in peace, Julian. And so, speaking of the other movies, also, I want to kind of run down my thoughts on them before I talk about the new one. So let's start with the first, the Fantastic Four from 1994, the unreleased Roger Corman movie. It's fine for what it was. It was a low-budget movie. They did what they could. I just feel bad for the actors who thought the movie was going to be released, only for Avi Arad to come in, buy the movie, and for all intents and purposes, I think, destroy it. But someone, I guess, made a copy of a copy, and that's what got technically released. And then I'm going to do the Tim Story movies together. I watched them before I went into the new one because I was going to watch all four, but I didn't because I didn't have the time. So I just watched the two Tim Story ones. And you know what? I enjoy them. I don't care if people... I don't get the hate for those movies. They're fun. They're entertaining. They capture the whole being a family thing. Family squabble. That's kind of the point. Like, for example, me and my sister, we fight all the time, yet we still love each other. That's what families do. Families squabble with each other. They get on each other's nerves. So I did enjoy those Tim Story movies. Now, and look, I thought all the actors were great castings, And Doom had no point in Rise of the Silver Surfer, though. Like, he literally does nothing. Like, does absolutely nothing until the third act, and it's not even Julian McMahon in the armor. Because according to the commentary, Tim Story said that Julian McMahon was still doing his show Nip Tuck, and so they had to get a body double for the third act, and Julian just did the dialogue. But now on, so then we go to Fan Four Stick, which that movie was a mess from the start because there are like conflicting reports of Josh Trank, coming on the set drunk, insulting, trashing the actors. The man had the movie taken away from him because the studio knew like his original cut of the movie, so they I guess got a new director, went in, reshot a ton of the movie, and it's quite obvious because just look at Kate Mara's reshoot wig, which is about as bad as Henry Cavill's Justice League mustache removal. It's that bad and that noticeable. But now, since I've kind of summed up my feelings on the other four movies, let's talk about First Steps. So, the Fantastic Four First Steps, 2025 American superhero film based on Marvel Comics superhero team, the Fantastic Four, produced by Marvel Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Pictures. Yeah, this is the first Fantastic Four movie not to be distributed by 20th Century Fox. Strangely, the 20th Century Studios, as they're now called, logo does not appear in the movie. Which I still find that weird, because even Deadpool and Wolverine doesn't have that logo. I still find that weird. It is the 37th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the second reboot of the Fantastic Four franchise. The film was directed by Matt Shakman, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, from a screenplay by Josh Friedman and Eric Pearson, who I think wrote Black Widow. I think Eric Pearson had a hand in writing Black Widow. I'll look that up. And the team of Jeff Kaplan and Ian Springer. It features an ensemble cast including Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Ebon Moss-Bachrach. Again, I'm sorry I probably butchered names. And Joseph Quinn as the title team, because I wasn't going to be able to pronounce that line at work. Alongside Julie Gardner, Sarah Niels, Mark Gatiss, Natasha Lyonne, Paul Walter Hauser, and Ralph Ineson. The film is set in the 1960s of a retro-futuristic world, which the Fantastic Four must protect the planet from the planet devouring cosmic being Galactus. Alright, so the movie was released July 25th, 2025, with a runtime of roughly an hour and 55 minutes. The budget was $200 million, and so far, within the past 3 days, it's just made its budget back. So, let's see, the music was done by, Michael Giacchino. I love that man's music. So, I'll say this. In terms of the cast, I thought they were good. I like Pedro Pascal in this way better than I thought he was. Like, I thought Pedro Pascal was way better in this than he was in Wonder Woman 1984. Because he was way over the top and not serious at all for a villain. But here, he plays Reed Richards. And look, would I have liked them to keep John Krasinski from Multiverse of Madness as Reed? Yes, I would have. But I get why they made Krasinski Reed in Multiverse of Madness, is because he was a fan casting for years. Fans had wanted to see him as Reed Richards, so Multiverse of Madness just threw a bone to the fans. Just like with Henry Cavill, who was Superman in the DCEU and clearly got fucked over by Warner Brothers, was fan casted for a while as Wolverine to replace Hugh Jackman. And guess what? Deadpool and Wolverine threw a bone to them, and it was an awesome 30 seconds. Because I've heard he does the Gellert voice from Witcher, and then he does the Mission Impossible arm reload thing, and then the Superman punch. I'm like, awesome. Doing the arm reload and the Superman punch was all awesome. But that's definitely Wolverine. This is fantastic work. But yeah, I like Pascal better in this than I did in Wonder Woman 94. I liked Vanessa Kirby in this. I liked the guys who played Johnny and Ben. I thought they were fine, you know. But look, personally, I'm always gonna have a soft spot for the Tim Story cast because they were the first incarnation of the characters I ever saw. So I'm probably gonna always have a soft spot for Ewan Griffith, Jessica Alba, Chris Evans, Michael Chiklis, and Julian McMahon as those characters. You know, it's just me though. But I thought this cast did great. With, you know, and so when I saw the trailer and I heard they're doing Galactus and Silver Surfer again, I'm like, why? You have done these characters before about, if my math is correct, 18 years ago. I'm pretty sure the Fantastic Four have other villains you could use. I mean, it's the same problem that I have with the Superman movies, with them constantly reusing Lex and Zod. These characters have other villains you can fucking use. So, fucking use them. But no, they just keep retreading the old villains. But I will say this. Now, okay. I have heard for 18 years people bitch and moan about how in Rise of the Silver Surfer they turned Galactus into a giant storm cloud. Well, guess what, guys? You finally got your comic accurate Galactus. Now please shut the fuck up. And honestly, He doesn't really do much in the movie. Like, at all. For a good chunk of the movie, he sits on his throne, and at the end of the movie, he just tries to go after Franklin because I guess he wants Franklin to be his little successor. Because he hates having to feed on planets and wants Franklin to be his successor so he can be free of the job or whatever. That part made no sense to me. But, again, this movie's been out for a few days, so I'm going to go into spoilers. So, there's a moment in this movie where the Fantastic Four want to push Galactus away from Earth. To try and shove him through a portal, get him away from Earth. Johnny's willing to make this sacrifice to do it, and tells them, tell Franklin Uncle Johnny loves him. Hearing that, as an uncle myself, kind of got me emotional because, look, I have a 3-year-old nephew that I live with. I love him to death. There is not a thing I wouldn't do for that kid. Even if it meant taking a bullet. Like, I would literally take a bullet for my 3-year-old nephew. That's how much I love that kid. So hearing Johnny say something like that kind of tore me up inside. As an uncle myself, knowing that, yes, if push came to shove, I would gladly lay down my life for my nephew. So that kind of got me as an uncle. Hearing Johnny say that. So, now, and look, as far as, I think her name is Julia Gardner as the Silver Surfer. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, they gender swapped the character. No, this character has been in the comics before. I'm probably pronouncing poorly, Shia LaBeouf. She's a comic character. She's been around in the comics before. It's not just Norrin Red, apparently. But I thought she did fine for what she had to work with, what she was given. Like, overall, I did enjoy this movie. I even liked the whole futuristic look that they were going for, even though it's supposed to be set in the 60s. And this movie is set on a different Earth, Earth 828, which does kind of fix a couple plot holes of if this movie took place in the 60s, where were the Fantastic Four when Thanos happened? Well, they were on their own Earth. You know? Although it doesn't solve the question of Captain Marvel, though. And not to go on a tangent, but her movie, she tells Fury to give Fury the pager and says, for emergencies only. Yet, in Avengers, Winter Soldier, Age of Ultron, never uses it. I'm guessing Loki attacking New York was an emergency. Hydra trying to annihilate half the planet was an emergency. And Ultron going nuts trying to destroy the planet wasn't an emergency either. Okay. I guess those weren't emergencies. I guess not. Yeah, I still don't get that plot point. But yeah, overall, I did enjoy this movie. I had a lot of fun with it. Where would I put it in the 5 movies we've had? And yeah, I'm including the Corman movie, even though it wasn't officially released. It was still technically because it's online somewhere on the internet. So among the 5, I'd put this at number 3. Like, I would go, like, 2005 be number 1, Silver Surfer's 2, First Steps 3, and then Corman Fan Four Stick. That would be my rank of these movies. So yeah, that's about all I can say about this. And speaking of, there's a mid-credit scene where we see Doom, and I just don't know how I feel about Robert in the role, because I think it was announced a year ago that Robert Downey Jr. would play Doom, and I'm like, this feels so desperate. Like, it feels like a desperate move by Marvel, because since Endgame, they've kind of, how do I want to say this? I don't want to say they dipped in quality, but they've kind of a little bit been off and on, I guess you'd say. And having Robert Downey Jr. come back as Doom kind of feels like a desperate move by the studio to get the audience back into their good graces, or something like that. And Feige's even come out and said, oh yeah, Doom was playing the whole time. Kang wasn't a strong enough villain. It's like, yeah, bullshit, Doom was playing the whole time. Yeah, Doom wasn't a thing until after the Jonathan Majors situation happened. So please, Feige, don't lie to us. We're not stupid enough to buy your bullshit. Alright, I think that's about all I'm gonna say on this movie. Is that I enjoyed it. If I were to give it a grade, I'd probably give it maybe a 7. Like a 7 out of 10. Like I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. And when the Blu-ray comes out, and I actually finally get my stuff here, I'll get the Blu-ray probably. See you guys.